Okay, folks, we are broadcasting live from my garage. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw a car pull up to a neighbor's trash can and start unloading stuff into the trash can that was out the day before trash pickup. And I went over to see what it was. The guy came over, dumped a bunch of stuff, and drove off. And it was LP Records. And I knocked on the neighbor's door and I said, some guy just dumped a bunch of records in your trash can, and the lady told me it was her father-in-law. So I guess his relative died and they inherited a garage with over 40,000 records, mostly country western. He was a DJ. They're all in plastic protective sleeves. I would say they're all very good condition for radio play. And I saved him what I could. She said that they were throwing the bulk of it away, and he was driving around town on trash day just throwing them out, and he had a whole pickup truck bed full. Makes me sick. So we're just going to do a quick sampling here of what was in the trash. Mel Tillis, Heart Over Mind. The Best of Mel Tillis. Something Special, Mel Tillis. Don't know who this guy is. Faron Young, This Hurts, This Time the Hurtin's on Me. I'm not a country western guy, and this is old country western. Faron Young, I've Got Precious Memories. I don't know if these are worthy of the trash. Faron Young, Greatest Hits, Volume 1. Mel Tillis, On Stage and the Statesiders at the Birmingham Municipal Auditorium. Mel Tillis, Detroit City, Pickwick, so that's like a compilation record. And then there's a ton of these records in blank sleeves with typewritten on carbon paper notes, radio broadcast sheets, air date August 28th, 1980. All songs are licensed by BMI unless otherwise indicated, and it's got a radio playlist. There's a ton of these types of records that were produced with notes for radio play. The Vega Brothers, No Idea. The Quackers Christmas Special. Jack Quist, Where Does Love Go? Ricky Van Shelton, Wild Eyed Dream. I have no idea. Ricky Van Shelton, Loving Proof. Another copy of Wild Eyed Dream. Ricky Van Shelton 3. Another Loving Proof. The Songs of the Cowboy, Gene Autry. This one has a signature on the front. Oh, it's just whoever owned it. That Young Feeling, Faron Young. More Faron Young. Here's Faron Young. Faron Young sings Leavin' and Saying Goodbye. Now we're getting into the Merle Haggard. This one is still in the shrink wrap. More Merle Haggard. This album is called Amber Waves of Grain. Yep. Merle Haggard, Rainbow Stew Live at the Anaheim Stadium, no doubt. And interestingly enough, I'm from Anaheim. Merle Haggard and the Strangers, Hag. Merle Haggard and Bonnie Owens. The Buckaroos, Buck Owens, They Strike Again. Buck Owens by popular demand. Buck Owens, Your Tender Loving Care. Buck Owens, America's Most Wanted Band. Sammy Smith, As Long as There's a Sunday. followed by Sweethearts of the Rodeo. Sexy. Joe Sampley. Again, if you're a country western aficionado, the Statler Brothers. Margot Smith. Connie Smith. The best of the Tennessee yodeler, Margot Smith. Sammy Smith. More Margot Smith. Apparently she was a yodeler. I have no clue. More Ricky Van Shelton. I do know who Trisha Yearwood is. Look at that sweet 80s hair. And I do know who Dwight Yoakam is. Apparently, he is Hillbilly Deluxe. Interestingly enough, my neighbor across the street refers to himself as Hillbilly Deluxe. All right, another Dwight Yoakam album. More Dwight Yoakam. Statler Brothers. I don't know if this is probably mostly thrift shop fodder. I should probably just donate all of these. Gene Shepard, I don't know. Sammy Smith. Okay, now here's some Hank Williams Jr. This album is called Loving Proof, featuring the song I'll Think of Something. Look at him smoke that cigarette. Mel Tillis, The Greatest Hits, Volume 2. Mel Tillis and Friends. Merle Haggard, That's the Way Love Goes. This is 2 records, just stuck in one sleeve. Merle Haggard, If We Make It Through December. Merle Haggard, 501 Blues. Must be wearing Levi's. Merle Haggard, Let Me Tell You About a Song. I should spin one of these. Merle Haggard, The Fight Inside of Me. And it just goes on and on. Here's more Buck Owens. Another best of Buck Owens. I wouldn't live in New York City. Neither would I. Buck Owens. Buck Owens and his Buckaroos. Bonnie Owens. Another Bonnie Owens. And it just goes on and on. You could see there's that huge stack there that I rescued. So, I don't know. There's a lot of duplicates. Here's another duplicate Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard and the Strangers, Swinging Doors, and The Bottle Let Me Down. Compilation box set. These are dusty. Country Music Fever. It's a big box set. Mel Tillis, Greatest Hits. Oh my gosh. More Mel Tillis. Here's another. The Songs My Father Left Me. Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams Jr., Man of Steel. And I have not looked up values of these. Here's another Hank Williams. 14 Greatest Hits. Hank Williams Jr., The Pressure Is On. There's a steam train coming and barreling down behind him. There's 2 copies of this here. Here's another one. Hank Williams Jr., 14 Greatest Hits. Family Traditions, Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams Jr., The New South. And it just goes, Insight into the Hank Williams Song and Story. Hank Williams Jr. and the Mike Curb Congregation, All for the Love of Sunshine. Oh, man. More duplicates. Hank Williams Jr., Volume 2, Greatest Hits. Hank Williams Jr. and Louis Johnson, Lois Johnson, Removing the Shadow. Hold On, Old and New Habits, Hank Williams Jr. Okay, I'm kind of over going through these because there's probably dozens and dozens more, and you guys are going to get bored. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.